Today's show is brought to you by Manscaped.com. See the podcast description for a special money off code. Welcome to the Spurs News Podcast, your home for all things Tottenham Hotspur. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome back to a new episode of the Spurs News Podcast. We are in an international break, so we got no Tottenham games to talk about, but don't worry, we got plenty of things we found that we can chat at you about. I'm Sam, joining me to discuss all things, it's Matt.
Hey, Sam. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Because normally when you get the international break, you're like, it's a relief, especially in the last couple of years. But this one, I'm like, I want to see us start playing again. You know?
Yeah, no, I know. We were like winning, not conceding goals, top of the league, and after, if you remember, like under Jose, we started the season doing really well, and then we had the international break, and then the next game was the West Ham game.
Oh God.
And that was it. That broke everything. So yeah, just to let everyone know, things can go to shit fast. Enjoy.
At least we haven't got West Ham this weekend coming, so it's a kind of
no. It's Crystal Palace though.
Oh, it's still gonna be a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, rubbish. But it is what it is.
Seb's hairdresser. I say Seb's hairdresser because if anyone that actually seen me in real life, I've not needed a hairdresser for the last 15 years. He's a big Crystal Palace fan, and it's unusual actually. I think he's literally the only Crystal Palace. No, actually, tell a lie. I used to work with someone called Palace Paul. So there's two Crystal Palace fans I've ever met in my life.
Paul.
Yeah, so it's quite lucky his name was Paul. But
he's either a Crystal Palace fan or he just loves the royal family.
One of the two. Yeah, no, he was a massive fan. Funny enough, he went to that opening game when we beat him 2-0.
Oh, yeah.
But this guy, he's obviously a massive Palace fan, and we was talking about the game coming up, and he said, whenever Tottenham, we always think we've not got a hope in hell. He said if we escape with like a 1 or 2-0 defeat, then I'm happy. And that really surprised me because like, I always go to Palace, and I know we have got a decent record there, but it's such an intimidating little stadium, isn't it?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I like that stadium. It's something about that feels really old school 80s, 90s football, which is obviously my origins. So yeah, no, I like that. Well, I say I like it. It's friggin' hostile.
Yeah, that's the thing with the fans.
And I'd much rather be playing them on a weekend in the afternoon than like a Wednesday night there. I think night time at that stadium is just like bloodthirsty maniacs. It's great.
And all the alcohol's flowing, isn't it?
It's
as long as they're relatively sober, then you think we're all right.
Yeah, it's not quite Millwall away, which I've only experienced once in my life. I had an older brother who went through a phase of supporting a Bristol team, being that's where we're from. He supported Bristol Rovers, and Bristol City had played Millwall 2 weeks before in Bristol, and it had basically been a massive riot. The Millwall fans marched through the city, just destroying the place.
Jesus.
Lovely bunch. And my older brother decided that Millwall away was a perfect game to take his 6-year-old younger brother, me. It's like, hey, where are we going? We're going to go watch a football match. Oh, wow, we're going to watch Tottenham? No. We're going to go watch Bristol Rovers at Millwall. Yeah, that was an experience to live life. There was something happened. I think Bristol Rovers equalised like late in the game, and like a few fans like went on the pitch to celebrate, like went over the hoardings, and then very quickly, shepherded back in.
Yeah.
But I just remember there was like this weird like thunderclap noise, and I was like, what's that? And I looked round, and basically the other end of the pitch, where you could see their fans, were running across the pitch. I was like, why are they doing that? And my brother like, we're going to go.
Yeah, quick. Quick.
I was like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I'm older now. I get it. But at the time, I was just like, oh, look, they're running on the pitch.
Oh, they want to come and say hello.
Yeah. Oh, perhaps they want hugs. No, they do not. Yeah, run. Yeah, fun place. Never going again.
No.
So we're going to kick off this week's podcast with your new feature. And of course, anyone who listened last week will know it. And but if you didn't listen last week, you're in for a treat. Over to you, Matt.
He's got balls.
Okay, mate. So this week, I'm gonna pick Harry Kane as my he's got balls. Now, Harry Kane's back in favour again, isn't he? He's not going
Not
anywhere
for
this
me.
season, so we can love him again. He's one of our own again.
Nope, not for me.
Not
But
for me.
Carry on. No.
Well, do you know what? It's gradually coming back. It's like someone that it's like splitting up with someone, and then they're kind of thinking, and then they come and see you, and you're thinking, do you know, maybe, we had something there. Let's see if we can work on it.
I genuinely don't get it. But no, I'm delighted though. I'm genuinely delighted that he stayed because we are a better team. We're having a world class striker in it. Obviously.
Oh, completely.
But like the whole emotional attachment I had to the guy is like gone. I don't know whether that's going to come back. I don't know. It's like weird because like people were talking about like stats and things, and I was genuinely amped. Like every time he scored a goal, it's like, yeah, he's now overtaken so and so, and now I'm just like, meh. He could be anybody now. He's not that special. I don't know. It's just me. I think it's just me. I think I'm just a ordinary git. But anyway, you were about to talk about how Harry Kane has balls.
Yeah, and this is really awkward now because I was going to kind of lead into stats. So like, I know.
No, you carry on. You carry on. I'll just sit in the corner, kind of like grimacing.
Right, so he's got balls moment is him scoring that goal, which it was a worldie, wasn't it? In the 72nd minute.
Yeah.
In Poland, you've got over 56,000 Polish fans with their flags, with their T-shirts. Look, he's going to back himself. I get that. He's a world-class striker. But it's one of those shots that could go wildly wide, and then you've got 56,000 fans taking a piss at you. So, it's one that I think it takes a lot of balls to take on. But, wow, did he hit it.
I enjoyed it more because of who it was against.
Okay. Oh yeah, the goal kick.
Gunnar Chesney, and it's happened again. Yeah, because of that, there was a lot of joy for me. But yeah, Jesus, he hit that. Yeah, I think Dan shared it in our chat, and I was just like, "Yep, he meant that."
Yeah, absolutely, it's a great goal. So yeah, this is the awkward moment for you anyway when I go into some of the stats about his goal scoring.
Oh, those stats for Harry Kane.
Yeah, I just thought because obviously with that goal going in. I know he was joint fifth with Michael Owen, but now see you later, Michael Owen. Like he's behind him now. He's on his own fifth. Now, interestingly, and I didn't realise this, and I should have known it really, because obviously with him climbing up the table, but he's now chasing the same striker that he's chasing for Spurs as his target, Jimmy Greaves. Now, I think it's insane. So Kane's on 41 goals now from 64 games, which is a fantastic, phenomenal return. You've got the guy that's top Rooney. With 53 goals from 120, and then you've got Bobby Charlton next, 49 goals from 106, and then it gets more like wow, like these guys, the next three should be kind of higher up just because how quickly they scored them. So you've got Lineker who scored 48 goals in 80 games. Did you know how many games it took Greaves to score his 44?
No.
57.
Yeah, the guy was a machine.
That's insane. That is absolutely insane. So
He was without a doubt the best striker on the planet, during that time.
Oh yeah, he was just head and shoulders above anybody else. And I mean, the stats don't lie, do they? That's just insane. 44 goals in 57 games. I mean, that's an insane return. Now, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't alive. I was in that area. I mean, did he play San Marino every week? I mean, how was he like?
No. The funny thing about international football back then is England were very good. They won the World Cup.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Mate, can I just interrupt you because we got some breaking news?
Oh wow, okay.
And this is massive.
Okay.
This is huge. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium has been named among the winners of the Royal Institute of British Architects RIBA National Awards 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll never sing that.
I just thought you was going to tell me that they've named a stadium or something.
So. No. This isn't me being a dork. Genuinely, right? This is big news because there is a trophy. Everyone needs to be aware. It's like a little glass thing with a plaque on it.
Okay.
Yeah, the stadium's won more than the team. Oh dear, that makes me laugh.
I'm glad you can laugh at that.
The replies are going to be amazing. Add that to the cabinet.
Don't.
Yeah, another trophy.
Just don't. Honestly, like if you're in a good mood, Sam, do it. But otherwise,
I mean, I gotta be honest with you. After Jose Mourinho, Nuno's been like a breath of fresh air, and I'm just having fun with everything again.
I think you need to. Yeah.
Last year, I think this joke would have just been like, "Oh, I'm done.
I'm done. Yeah.
I'm done. Please don't tweet anything like we've won an award. Right? Yeah, sorry, I interrupted you with that breaking news. I apologise. I realise it wasn't as awesome as it could have been.
I genuinely, when you thought stadium, I was like, oh my God, they've finally named it. I mean, how long has that taken? That's like...
Welcome to the Tampax Arena.
The Tampax Arena. I'm trying to think of like a something to go along with it, but I need more time.
No. It's one of those things that your jokes for that immediately go to blood, and then it's like not a good place.
No, let's just leave it.
Walk away.
Yeah, leave it at that.
Yeah. The Durex Arena, because we all go there and get fucked. So no, it's the naming rights thing is a long drawn out process because we're looking for a world record deal, and by the way, we've got every rights to, because it's going to be NFL, English Premier League, it's broadcast around the world. It genuinely is a deal. However, we're looking for that during a global pandemic, where although these massive companies do have the funds, it's not a very seen thing to be doing, spending it on something marketing and frivolous, I know they had talks with one company that was progressing really well, and then that particular company laid off like 5,000 staff globally, and they decided it wasn't a very good thing to lay off that amount of staff and then spend 150 million on naming rights for a stadium. I happen to agree with them. But yeah, so no, it's weird because I think I said to you last week or the week before, like a month ago I was told, it's pretty much done and it should be announced soon, and it's silent. Like the person who told me that, someone's very reliable, and it's just silent, and he says like nothing. There's just no, either the talks have happened and they've made a decision, or everything's just ground to a halt. I don't know, but there's no information at all, so who knows. Interesting. It's one of those things that it's kind of like you're going to forget about it, and then all of a sudden they're going to send out a tweet, by the way, the stadium's now called this.
Yeah, sure.
It's
just
like,
out of
what,
nowhere.
eh? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, bizarre. So anyway, sorry, you were discussing balls and
Yes.
Harry Kane having them. You were discussing some stats from Mr. Kane.
Yes, that you're not particularly interested in. Okay.
No, sorry. I interrupted you.
It's
Sorry.
all right, mate. So he's chasing Jimmy Greaves for the next place to become the fourth highest England goal scorer. I mean, look, if he scores 13 goals, he's 28, scores 30 goals, he's going to be England's highest ever goal scorer, which is just insane.
Yeah.
So that's going to happen. And for Spurs, again, he's chasing Jimmy Greaves, and he's 43 behind, 43 goals, and he becomes England and Spurs' greatest ever goal scorer. I mean, it's just insane.
Mad.
So anyway, I'll stop talking about the stats for him, Sam, and just say, I've talked about Harry Kane having balls. Now, for anyone listening who literally has balls, or for anyone listening who knows anybody who literally has balls, as everyone probably knows by now, we're sponsored by the lovely guys at manscaped.com.
We are, yes.
We are,
Currently,
yes.
we are. Yes.
Currently, we are, yeah. So I don't know if anyone's had a look on it after listening to our podcast, but I've been on it this morning, and I don't know if you've seen it, but they do this package with this new what do you call it, razor, cropper, whatever they call it. I think they call it a lawnmower or lawn cropper.
Yeah.
Now this thing is half price at the moment, right? So I think it's like £200. They're offering it at half price. You put our code in, so you put in SN Pod, so Spurs News Pod, SN Pod, and it brings it down to about 80 quid, and that includes free shipping. So you're getting a £200 just set of these fantastic things that can really look after your balls for 80 quid. So I highly recommend anyone listening, go on there, put in SN Pod, and get yourself some ball.
You did that really professionally.
Thank you, Sam.
You set up a segment, you segued into it nicely, and you did a coherent and really nice promotion. Well done.
You think I've done this before, haven't you?
Yeah, I genuinely am impressed. I was like Sayer thinking, where? Last couple of weeks I've waffled like an idiot saying manscaped.com, look after your balls, play with your balls, and stuff like that, and you've just done that really, really professional. I'm blown away. I don't know what to say. This isn't us.
This isn't us.
That felt weird. It's like pre-recorded promotion. Like, hey everybody, this show is sponsored by Manscaped.com. You can look after your balls, or maybe you know a man in your life who has balls you want to look after. That's true. We're growing our lady audience.
Yeah,
by the way.
I know. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah. So ladies, if you're listening and you know someone with balls and you want them to, trim it, because I understand you can get like hair in your teeth. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh God, Sam, you just have to go there.
Oh no, now I feel bad because you did the professional thing and then I ruined it. I see what I did. Sorry everyone. I feel bad. You use the code anyway. If you go to the podcast description, the code's there. If you buy anything from them using our code, they will consider doing a financial deal with us where they'll sponsor us for the season. At the moment, this is kind of like a interim thing where they sent us their products and said, right, promote us for a few weeks. Currently, we need to hit 10 sales to get that, and we've done 4.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, go buy stuff, please. I did get an email, by the way, from one of our American listeners who basically just said, is this new there? Because like we've had this in the States for a long time. I've got like this, I've got that. I'm like, dude, don't email me telling me about your ball matching. What the hell?
That's what we are, Sam.
I know I joked about it, but Johnny, seriously, man, what the hell? We talk about football, rugby. You email in, it's great, and I'll reply. But I don't know what to say to you today.
Listen, it's 2021, Sam. It's comfortable that we can all talk about our balls.
Yeah,
I like it.
I'm glad. I'm glad we're there. I'm glad we're at that position. It's a strange thing, but we are there. Definitely, we are there. So yeah, we are sponsored by Manscaped.com for at least another week. So yeah, the code's there. Use it, and then let us know what you think. Or it helps us out. It's nice. It helps us out. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. And also, if you don't got the money at the moment, I can understand that as well, because we're going through a bloody pandemic and it's ridiculous.
Sure.
Times are hard, people, and so are their balls. No, wait, that don't work.
Good try,
Move on. So yeah, that was Manscaped.com. That was our unscripted promo again. He listened, by the way, last week.
Oh, right, okay.
yeah. He just basically said, if you want to look at the scripts, I'm like, no, I do not. But anyway, right, moving on. So yeah, to be honest with you, because it's the international break, it was kind of like strange. It's kind of like, well, we could talk about different things, and obviously there's always stuff going on at Tottenham. I mean, I think we're the least boring club in the world, but what I decided to do is I just sort of crack it open to people on the Facebook and Instagram, and I thought we'd dive into their kind of questions, if you're up for that.
Best way of doing it, Sam.
Yeah, I think so. And that way, rather than us picking topics randomly, we can get stuck in. So away we go. Let's hand there. That was easy for me to say. Let's head over to social media.
Now it's time for your comments from our social media.
Man, I'm having a day, aren't I? Everything's going wrong.
It's only early as well, Sam.
Yeah, now I could edit that, but I think people appreciate knowing that I'm crap.
Yeah, don't leave it in.
Yeah, no. Oh dear, you gibbering wreck.
Maybe cut the teeth bit out, maybe.
Nah, balls. Yeah, ladies will love it. Although if I see our lady listenership drop again, I'll know why. Yeah. Right then. So on Instagram, we have a few comments. We're going to open up with Diasporian1. I have no idea if I've said that right. Do you believe Nuno will be the manager who finally gets the best out of Ndombele? Wow, here's a question. At the moment, I don't think so. He's basically looked at him. Ndombele says, I want to leave, and he's not picked him, not even for a pre-season minute. So no, not at the moment. I mean, I'd like to think that perhaps there's been a meeting of the minds and you're stuck here till at least January. Do you want to play? Because we're paying him a lot of money to basically be someone who shows up to train every day. What do you think, mate?
Well, talking about training, there was a picture that came out, wasn't it? I know it's only a picture, but he looked fairly happy with his new haircut and seemed quite happy training. But yeah, it's a difficult one because Nuno, he's almost the opposite of the way Mourinho does things. He wants a harmonious, happy squad, and I don't think Ndombele helps that kind of getting the team in that direction. So it's like, look, Ndombele's still quite young, isn't he? I mean, what is he, 23, 24?
Yeah, he is.
To us two, without sound patronising, he's a kid, isn't he? So if Nuno can, get him on side, maybe change his attitude. Look, I get it. People fundamentally don't change, but people can, they can have their way of thinking and their kind of focus is changed, can't they? So,
Yeah.
you can be someone that's fundamentally lazy or someone that, possibly is not naturally kind of look at Sonny, for example. I mean, that guy, he gets up at 5 o'clock every morning with a big smile on his face, drinking his morning cup of coffee, and that guy is just a ball of energy and positivity. But
Yeah.
but I could imagine Nuno working on him, getting him focused, and we might be able to get him integrated. But until he changes his attitude, then no, keep him away from the first team. I think.
Well, I'd like to think they've been able to sort something out because it'd be beneficial, but we shall see. The guy's just a bundle of talent there, and when he's in an environment where he's happy, I think he'll look world class. But at the moment, it just doesn't appear to be with us. Josh _Harper 9R says, "What is the name of the podcast?" That's a good start. Lovely Laura, who runs Instagram, why haven't you replied to him? Lovely Laura, you are slacking here. Come on, reply to the kid. That's a potential listener, potential ball trimmer purchaser that you have just ignored. God, I don't know where her head is sometimes. Unbelievable. Also, I've seen many people complaining that we had a bad window because we still aren't deep. But are there any team besides maybe 3 or 4 teams in the world that could handle losing 6 to 7 players?
That's a funny perspective, isn't it, Sam?
What about the squad in the window?
So hang on, am I listening to this right? So they're saying, how does a team handle losing the amount of players that we've lost? Is that what they're saying?
No, I think what he's saying is that a lot of people are moaning that the window has left us not that much strength in depth. Yeah, and then he's basically saying that we lost 6 or 7 players. I mean, we have replaced. Yeah, it's difficult because when you say a team loses 6 to 7 players and they replace them with 4, you're immediately thinking, well, yeah, they're missing some.
Yeah.
But we were oversubscribed, if you like. Let's give an example. We 2 goalkeepers left, Gazzaniga and Joe Hart. Joe Hart, obviously 34, I think, and we got a transfer fee for him, which is just hilarious, but we did.
How? I don't know how we did that.
I know.
It's insane.
And Gazzaniga left on a free with the club's blessing because he did everything for the club, and good luck to him. But the 2 of them left, and we signed 1 goalkeeper, but we promoted an academy keeper. So, although you look at that and you go 2 players out, only 1 player in, we're not as strong in the goalkeeping department anymore. I'd argue we are. We'd also address the homegrown issue because, basically Joe Hart was there basically just to be a third choice homegrown option, and for whatever reason Jose decided to promote him to be second choice, which was, again, bizarre. There was a lot of very complimentary stuff said about Joe with the academy, though. His experience and his professionalism and working with some of the younger players. So that's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah, do you know what as well? So Seb and I went to Celtic parts of the stadium, so I started following him on Facebook, and so obviously when he signed, there was like an interview with him and he was speaking really highly of his time at Spurs, and he's an honest guy. I think, like he said, I don't know where I saw this. I probably might have not been on the Celtic page. It might have been on something else, but he was saying that he gets, because this and actually this was quite a good insight into how much football players are aware of what people say on social media. We always think, we'll post something, they're never going to see it, but they see this stuff, they get a feeling for what's being said on social media, and he said that. A lot of people were like, this guy's just completely dead. His career's dead. He's absolutely useless. He said, but how many people watch me? How many people are actually watching the games? And to be fair, I was thinking, yeah, I am watching them and you are shit. So I don't know where that come from. I mean, I have watched every game and you are I mean it with the greatest respect, because he won the league with Man City. I mean, you could have been mug.
He was, for a time, a very good goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Whether he won stuff and therefore his brain went, I've done it.
Yeah.
Or whether perhaps just something. It's weird because you see it with strikers. Do you remember Fernando Torres at Liverpool.
Yes, yeah, when he went to
And
Chelsea,
he was like
yeah.
the best striker in the world. Like, you watched him. I mean, I remember watching him play against us, and just he's like twisted our defenders this way, that way, score. I mean, the guy was amazing. And he went to Chelsea like that big money move, and I mean, it was bizarre. Like, I think even the tournament before it happened, he was playing for Spain at like the Euros or something, and he was basically like falling over the ball. Like, he'd go to sprint past someone and fall over. He was missing open goals. It's just strange. Like, sometimes a player confidence can go, or what, I don't know, and they just never really recover.
Do you know another player that's playing at the moment for Chelsea that's done more or less exactly the same? Timo Werner. That guy was like amazing for a Red Bull, and he's just he can't hit a barn door, can he, at Chelsea?
No, it's just bizarre. I mean, it is bizarre. I'm still really shocked they kept him after they signed Lukaku. Like, I really thought he'd be going back to Germany like on an express freight. But no, they kept hold of him. But the funny thing is like in Chelsea, he looks awful, but he went off with Germany and did quite well. So maybe they're just hoping that he's a good option and he'll settle and be well. But we'll have to wait and see. The next one on here is from Jack Nice, but he's got a 1 instead of an I.
That is nice.
Jack N1CE.
Nice.
He says Arsenal versus Norwich score prediction.
It's a 6-pointer down there, isn't it?
That's a big game, everyone. That is a big game. I've got to be honest with you. I hope Arsenal win because I really hope they keep the manager. I think if Norwich win, the guy's fired.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for a nice 1-0 Arsenal.
Yeah.
just for everyone to go, yay! We've turned the corner and he's amazing again. He's the Messiah. Because they will do that.
And that'll stave off Conte as well, won't it, for the time being?
Yeah. Did you know they were being heavily linked with him, and Conte's agent come out saying nope.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, he's like there was like this story in Italy saying that the Arsenal had already been in contact with him about a pre-contract agreement, and the agent come out and went, normally don't comment on rumours, but we felt that this was one that we really had to put to bed quickly. Now that's either like a massive diss to Arsenal, or that's a kind of no one's contacted us, stop muddying our name, which is probably that, really.
Well, I hope it's the first one.
Yeah, I'd prefer it to be the first one. Now, the next comment is from someone who he has his own theme.
He's a man, such a man, such a man. He's a real man's man.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Mountain Man.
He's back.
He's back. Now, the Mountain Man says, sorry I'm late. Didn't realise the season had started. I've been stuck in the Caribbean with no signal.
Oh.
My question to you guys is, how long can we keep this great start to the season up? Good to have the show back, Coys. Do you reckon he was visiting Island Brother?
Oh, yeah, he could be, couldn't he? Maybe these guys know each other.
That'd be fun.
Are there any mountains in the Caribbean? It's a test of geography.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah, I want to say no.
It's like volcanoes or something. It's bound to be.
Yeah. I just think beaches. I just think beaches when I think of the Caribbean.
Yeah, and cricket.
Yeah, there you
that's
go.
it. That's cricket,
Cricket beaches.
and cricket, and really fast sprinters in Jamaica.
There you go.
And a bobsled team. There you go. That's No, welcome back, Mountain Man. Yeah. So, sorry it's late. Didn't realise the season had started. I love that. How long can we keep the grace? I mean, I don't know. It's a bizarre thing because we've won 3 games, we've won them all 1-0, we've not conceded. I think we've genuinely looked quite solid. There's just, again, this weird kind of thing about, oh yeah, but teams are getting chances. I'm sorry, it's the Premier League. Everyone gets chances against each other.
Yeah, completely.
I mean, Man City are by far the best side. Liverpool were by far the best side, but people still had chances against them.
Yeah.
And their keepers did bloody well, or their defenders pulled off a last-ditch step, and that's what we've done. So I don't fully buy into that. We are going to be without several of the players who have helped us make that good start. There's no two ways around that. But who's going to be? I mean, we know Sanchez is definitely missing. We know that Romero, who hasn't played, Lo Celso, who've been part of the squad, are definitely missing. They're in Croatia doing a training camp with. I hope whichever fitness coach the club have sent is the real sadistic one.
Yeah,
you know, like 6 a.m. we're doing a beep test, you bastards. You know what I mean?
Get Ant Middleton or one of the SAS guys over there. They'll sort them out.
Yeah, that'll really make them regret representing their country that they love. That was a bizarre thing. Did you follow that when the Argentinian players got dragged off the pitch by Brazilian authorities?
You know, I remember years ago, I worked with someone, and she went on holiday with it was her then boyfriend. I think she married him, and they went on holiday for a week. And when they got back, she said that he just called in sick for the whole week. Like he called in sick at the beginning of the week, and then halfway through the week, he had to sort of go into somewhere quiet to say he's still not feeling well, and yet they was in Portugal or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough, I guess, but like. Where did these guys think they were going to get away with it? You know, like there's a difference between my old work friend who works in a bank and two huge football stars. I mean, like at some point they might have thought, do you think we're actually going to get away with this? Because we're probably not, to be honest.
It's a bizarre situation, and I'm still not sure of the exact story to this minute. I've got to be honest. It's, you know, if you listen to the press release that have come out of the Argentinian FA, you listen to what Brazil about to say, you listen to what the club's about to say, it's bizarre. But the other thing that's quite interesting is there was a number of players who didn't go, a number of Brazilian players, like from Liverpool, etc. And the Brazilian FA have punished them by enacting a FIFA regulation, which means they cannot play this weekend. Because the clubs refuse to release them, FIFA can sanction the club. So, like the Liverpool goalkeeper, I think it is, and Firmino, they're not allowed to play for Liverpool this weekend.
What about did Lucas go?
No, he wasn't called up.
Oh,
so,
right, okay.
Yeah, so no, that's non-applicable.
Wow.
The only player that they've allowed to play this weekend is Richarlison, because of this random thing in the press release says, due to our good relationship with Everton, we're allowing Richarlison to represent.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
What?
That's ridiculous.
That's bizarre. Like, yeah, all these players be called up, they didn't show up. Now, perhaps Everton rang them, were like, hey, look, we're really sorry, we want to release him, but we're really worried. And Brazil went, yeah, sure. And perhaps Liverpool just went, no chance.
Yeah.
But it's a bizarre thing.
It
Like,
is.
this whole press release, like, we've invoked this FIFA regulation. Oh, but by the way, Richarlison could play because Everton are really nice. Yeah, they've been really kind to us in the playground recently. Yeah, it's really weird.
Bizarre.
Really bizarre. But yeah, okay, so heading over to Facebook, Stefan Cruz Alvarez, also known as Mr. Natalie nowadays that he's married, and Stefan of Amazon Prime fame.
I met Stefan, by the way.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
At the European.
And you met his new wife.
I did. Lovely couple. Yeah. He was a bit cross, Stefan, bless him, because and to be fair, I kind of agree with him. You know, he had to pay. Basically, because they was there on a little sort of trip away, and they had their bags with them, and they weren't allowed to take them in. So the club were charging them £10 a bag to look after bags outside the stadium. I get why he was pissed off, and I think I'd be pissed off as well. You know, so he kind of, when I saw him, he was kind of trying to come down from it.
Yeah. He's a very angry man. You just got to let him go sometimes. So he's going to say, I'm going to have to talk about the internationals, but I'm sure you already have. So instead, what the fuck has Ndombele done to his hair? He has gone platinum blonde just to try and get Nuno's attention. Yeah.
Try anything, mate.
Yeah. No, I don't know what the hell that's about. Perhaps him and Serge Aurier are like platinum blonde buddies, because Aurier did it, I think, as well. I don't know. Footballers have strange ideas of things to do with their hair. I'm just going to let that slide. Talking about the internationals, yeah, we had just been talking about it. So, but lovely to hear from you, Stefan. Stephen Moss says, why again no strikers on the shopping list? Again and again missing out. I saw this comment yesterday, and I was going to reply to it on there, but I thought no, because the idea is to talk about it on the podcast, you idiot. We did try and sign 2 strikers. It's a strange thing, like this. It's like if you don't sign someone, everyone just goes, you've failed. And I suppose to a point you could say they have, but they identified 2 strikers they wanted. they went for both of them with, I can't remember, the guy at Inter Milan, Martinez.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
You know,
yes.
we had an offer accepted, but then Chelsea went massive for Lukaku, and obviously Inter Milan weren't going to sell both of them. It was one or the other. So we could have gone, oh no, okay, 105 million for him, which we never do.
No.
But we did have a deal accepted. We had an offer accepted. Now we wanted to sign him, and then another guy who's gone completely out of my head at the moment. I think he was at Fiorentina, and he just decided he wanted to stay in Italy. So again, we went for two strikers that the club identified as ones we want. And now, from what Alistair Gold wrote in Football London, is that Nuno identified those two strikers. If we weren't able to sign either of those, he'd rather not sign just a make weight. You know, the season before, Jose was like, just get me a striker, even if it's on loan. Nuno, a bit more like Pochettino, which is, you know what, if we can't get the guys I want, because I can envisage them playing here, let's use Dane Scarlett, let's use Sonny as a striker, let's not just sign people for signing's sake.
Yeah, do you know what? That's a good point. And look, I understand that, you know, every season is different when it comes to players getting injured and, you know, needing other players. But just look at your last season, for example. Harry Kane, I know he had his little usual early calendar year injury on his ankle, but he wasn't out as long as he normally is every year.
No.
But we had Vinicius, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
And when you think about it, now I appreciate that Kane wasn't out for long, but Vinicius hardly pulled up trees, did he, for us? And he's a good striker, but it's that age-old thing that me and you have said so many times, that when you've got Harry Kane in the squad, it's not an appeal as a striker to come to Spurs, is it? It just isn't, you know. And like you said as well, you look at Dane Scarlett. Now, look at the games that Vinicius played last season. I mean, my memory will just go to like the European Cup games, the Europa League, and the Cup games.
Hat-trick in the FA Cup.
Yeah, and that's the kind of games that Dane Scarlett could play, couldn't he? You could
agree,
comfortably see him playing as a striker in them games, and that's going to really develop him. So we probably don't need a striker. Like if Harry Kane had gone, 100% get a striker in immediately. But while Harry Kane's here, then it's all cool with strikers at the moment, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I'm kind of with it. Right, so Matthew Fleming says, with all the players seemingly out with injuries and quarantine restrictions, which squad players are you hoping to see step up to put their claim on a starting place? I'd like to see Gill on if Son and Bergwijn are out. Maybe a chance for Ndombele to show what he's about to Nuno. Well, Ndombele we've kind of talked about. I've got no idea the condition of the guy who's going to play. Brian Gill, yeah, I'd love to see play. At the moment, we got no idea because, of course, Sonny missed the last game for South Korea with a injury, and they said it was precautionary. Now, obviously, Spurs physios will be getting him back today, so they'll make an assessment. Bergwijn, you saw icing an injury. Now, that can be anything. You know, he could have literally had someone boot him, so you ice the injury straight away. You know, that's kind of a standard thing you do. Oliver Skipp went off because he felt tightness in his groin. That could literally be he felt it, so now he just needs to rest for a couple of days, or it could be something worse. So, again, until all these assessments are done, we don't really know. But I imagine the Tottenham physio department are going to be pretty busy the next couple of days. Which players? I tell you, there's a guy in the academy who is ridiculously talented, and anyone who's watched our under-23 team last couple of years, his name's Dylan Mercande. Really, really talented player. And this summer, I don't know whether he's hit the gym or what, but the guy's bulked. And he has not lost any of his pace, any of his trickery, but he is now looks physically like he could dominate defenders. I'd love to see him get involved with the first team. I know he's training with the first team at the moment because of the international break. But if anyone gets the opportunity to watch any of our academy stuff, he's been nominated for Premier League 2 Player of the Month for August, which I think is a pretty good sign that he started the season well. But yeah, keep an eye out for this guy if you get an opportunity. But yeah, other than that, it's, you know, Sessegnon's picked up an injury again. That poor kid's got no luck. But yeah, at the moment it's going to be all about assessments and see who's available, I think. Barry Fowles says, whilst I've enjoyed giving it to the Arsenal fans during this international break, it has been a fiasco. Either elite sport is exempt or it isn't. If it's not, then players shouldn't be picked for their countries. FIFA have a month to sort this out, or we'll be back here during the next one. To be honest with you, Barry, you're right. It is an absolute mess, and I get the impression we're going to be back here doing the exact same thing in a month's time. FIFA, I have zero faith in ever to do anything even remotely good. So yeah, I fear we're going to be back here doing the same thing. We'll have to wait and see, but it is a mess. It is a mess. But it's a global, it's a global pandemic. These are just strange ass times for people to be travelling around the world. I don't know.
I think with football, like UEFA and these football bodies, like with most things at the moment in the world, it's like we're all, as human beings, we're all absolutely desperate just to get back to normality.
Yeah.
Yet we're kind of like trying to accept that we can't because COVID hasn't gone away.
No.
So it's that kind of, what would you call it? You know, like this kind of, we're in this middle thing where we're like, we want to get back to normal. We know we should be cautious, and it's kind of, people are being pulled one way or the other, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a bit like limbo.
Limbo, that's the word I was looking for.
You're kind of stuck between your desire and the reality. You know, you look at some of the countries like Brazil, for example, where the variants are really running rampant again, and you look to that and you go, okay, it's probably not a good idea to go to Brazil right now. But then football goes, yeah, you can.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is difficult. It is a very difficult situation. I'm delighted to say as well, the other man with his own theme tune has messaged in.
Awesome.
Now it's time for a comment from Island Brother.
So, the Island Brother, who I mentioned earlier with the Mountain Man, you two been vacationing together? I don't know. You have to drop us a message, let us know. I'd like the idea that you have. But he says, hey guys, welcome back. Excellent return. Been a great hat-trick of 1-0 victories. And Spurs get the win 3 times as well. He offers me some advice around getting over COVID. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. It just goes on to say, how in the hell did Tomiyasu end up over at Arsenal? I've seen that lot already racially abusing him online. Yeah, I saw that. That people just don't see it as racist at all. It's bizarre to me. They were sharing, Arsenal fans sharing pictures of him in his kit, calling him Bruce Lee and stuff. Yeah, people just don't see it. But anyway, it really wanted to see what he could do in a Spurs shirt. Anyway, wishing you all best of luck. Come on, you Spurs. The story with that particular transfer is quite simple. We had a deal at around 12 million for him, but we wanted to structure it in a way where we basically paid 6, and then broke the rest down. They wanted the full 12 in one go. So the renegotiation was to like 15, I think, where we paid 6 and then we structured, and we were happy with that. However, the opportunity arose to sign Emerson Royal. So the club picked that option. The club basically knew going into deadline day they had that deal there if they wanted it, but Paratici looks to put as many irons in the fire as possible and then picks what he believes to be the best option, and that's what he did. The minute we pulled out, Arsenal jumped in. Like the minute it was clear we'd gone for somebody else, Arsenal ran straight in. Now, because it was deadline day, they've ended up paying about 6 million more than what we were, which happens if you try and sign someone literally with no time for them to get a replacement. But yeah,
what you're saying, Sam,
happened.
what you're saying is that this way you just described it now is that it's like Arsenal are just like, so you get someone like walking along, and then you get like a homeless person, for example, looking for scraps, and like Arsenal are that homeless person that just picked up a little scrap that the bigger person dropped. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, screw it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're there just.
They
like,
pick up our scraps.
I mean, let's face it, they desperately needed to sign someone to help them defensively. And I mean, he looked a really good player, so it's going to be interesting to see how he does in the Premier League. But yeah, we made a decision to go somewhere else. And Emerson Royale, he's not kicked the ball for us yet, but I love the guy. He's like happy, smiley, looks genuinely thrilled to be in England. I do think that he has a very false idea of what the weather are like here, because he arrived in this weird ass heat wave in September. I think he's about to get a real shock.
Oh, God, yeah,
but
Jesus.
maybe he won't be so happy and smiley when like proper winter kicks in. But yeah, no, the guy's like a bit like Lucas, really. Just looks like loves playing football. Anyone who watches Ted Lasso, I just imagine Emerson Royal shouting "Football is life" on a regular basis. But have you watched that yet? By the way,
Do you know,
if you haven't, you need to.
I do, but I don't have Apple TV, and I don't know how else to watch it. I don't have Apple TV. I've been trying to find them on YouTube and that, but that is literally the only place you can stream them, isn't it?
I will find you a way, good sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Find you a way.
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean that's us wrapped up really, because the bloody international break, there ain't a lot more to say. We play Crystal Palace next, which is going to be a good game. At least I hope it is. Who's going to be in our squad, we don't know. Keep an eye on our Facebook pages, of course. As and when injury news is revealed, we'll post it there. But yeah, I mean, hopefully Kane finished the game in Poland okay, because if he came back injured as well, I think Nuno would just be like, no, I'm done.
I think as well, look, we don't. No one knows. Okay, we don't know the extent of injuries, but we do know the players that are definitely out. So you've got the two Argentinians and Sanchez. So you look at Sanchez. That'll be a big miss, I think, because he's done really well for us. So that is one.
Yeah, started the season great.
Yeah, that's a blow. When it comes to Romero and Lo Celso, those two have been bit part players, haven't they? So
they've not been starting 11, so that's not such a massive impact. Oliver Skip's the one that worries me.
Yeah, but again, like I say, that Skip, Sonny, Bergwijn, like you said a little while ago, we don't know the extent of the injuries. They might just be, they all might be precautionary, and they might all be fit to play against Palace.
I hope so, because I like the start we've made, and I hope we can build from it. It'd be really disappointing if we're unable to do that because 6-7 players are missing. Do you know what I mean? It'd be kind of sad that that's the reason we don't get a build from it. But yeah, I mean, it's Crystal Palace next. Really looking forward to it. Hopefully, like I said, we can build on the performances we've already got, and we can pick up another 3 points. So it's certainly and as for the Arsenal-Norwich game, massive relegation match. Massive. You can't underestimate, even this early in the season, how big a game that is for both teams. So
it kind of epitomises a 6-pointer, doesn't it, really?
It really does, yeah. So best of luck to Norwich. Yeah, good luck, boys. Yeah, I mean, if he was fit, I'd send him Skip just for one more game, He'd sort him out. Yeah. But that's it, mate. I mean, that's it for the week. Thank you to everybody who messaged in, etc. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll be back next week to discuss your balls again, and also Tottenham Hotspur. Until then, you take care.
Take care, mate.
Thank you for listening to the Spurs News Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Stay up to date with all things Tottenham. Follow us on social media. All links are in the podcast description.